7 Canadians have been arrested in connection with a major drug trafficking ring and former Team Canada Olympian Ryan Wedding. He's accused of bringing large amounts of cocaine into the US and Canada and was allegedly involved in the murder of a witness in Colombia this year. US Attorney General Pam Bondi says Wedding controls one of the most prolific and violent drug trafficking organizations in the world.
Today, we're unsealing a new indictment, charging Wedding with 2 additional counts of witness tampering and intimidation, murder, money laundering, and drug trafficking.
Wedding is on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, and the U.S. State Department is offering a reward of up to $15 million US for information leading to his arrest. Bondi says the new indictment includes several other individuals in connection with Wedding's alleged criminal enterprise.
This is an indictment, an additional indictment, an arrest of multiple subjects, nearly a dozen more, and that brings the total to approximately 36 indicted.
Calvin Chrustie, former RCMP officer and critical risk consultant, joins us now. Calvin, good evening and thanks for your time. This was an extraordinary cross-border, multi-agency press conference today. What stood out for you the most with all the information we received today?
I think probably the most concerning issue that I saw was the role of lawyers in this particular case. Particularly, the slippery slope. We've seen them in transnational organized crime, money laundering, and then when they're sliding to the point that they're intimidating witnesses, and in this particular case, facilitating and enabling the execution of witnesses. That's probably the most concerning issue that I've seen.
Okay, let's talk about the several arrests as well that have been made in regards with Wedding's network. What sort of a blow do you think would this be for his operations and the entire network?
Well, I think for a guy like Wedding, who's been around for a very long time, I think it's probably the first time that he's felt anything in the last, decade or decade and a half that he's been around. So I think it's a significant impact.
Significant impact. Okay. Meantime, officials are saying that he could be hiding in Mexico, maybe under the protection of a cartel designated as a terror organization, both by the U.S. and Canada. How do you think, how complicated do you think this makes things for investigative agencies?
Extremely complex. I mean, having worked, the cartel operations, as they relate to Canada, Mexico is extremely, extremely difficult area in terms of working. However, as indicated in terms of the press release, the Americans have significant capabilities in that particular area. And I think, the partnership that we've seen in terms of Canada and the U.S., the only way to mitigate these threats to Canada and the U.S. is relying on the relationship with the U.S. to assist and support.
The other big question is, Calvin, officials revealed that Wedding was able to move around 60 metric tons of cocaine. How does such large quantities of drugs actually cross borders?
Well, I think it goes a whole bunch of different ways, but I know he was connected to the Sinaloa group, and the Sinaloa group probably 10, 15 years ago shifted from their large shipments over the marine sector, et cetera, to incorporating almost, the mentality of ants in terms of going, hey, here's 50 keys, here's 100 keys, here's 150 keys, and shipping them through trucking systems. But they'd also use air, water, but trucking systems has been a very popular one for the last 10, 15 years.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for tonight then. As investigations continue in this case, Calvin Chrustie, former RCMP officer and critical risk consultant, thank you for your time.
Thank you.